Section 9. The beginning of Earth's Spirit Group. As we've seen, El Cantare planned Planet Earth's Spirit Group based on two principles. First, he gave humankind varying levels of spiritual awareness to create limitless possibilities for higher evolution. Then, he limited the human lifespan, which encouraged constant reincarnation between the third dimension and the spirit world. El Cantare set out to create human life forms from the highly developed spirit bodies of the Venusians. He amplified his light of compassion and wisdom, generating a massive sphere of light in the ninth dimension. Then he sent the most highly developed Venusian spirits into it, gave them the power of regeneration, and eventually divided the sphere into hundreds of smaller spheres of light. This is how he created the guiding spirits of light, who belong to Earth's major heaven of the eighth and lower dimensions. To give each of these spirits a personality of its own, El Cantare summoned all the powers of the ninth dimension to materialize them in the third dimension. At first, transparent mirage-like images appeared, which gradually formed into silhouettes that resembled the human form. Finally, shimmering physical bodies emanating white light emerged. El Cantare was delighted by the beauty and excellence of his creations. As the first 5, then 10, then 100, then 500 of these bodies materialized out of thin air. Next, El Cantare divided these spirits into two groups. He bestowed the light of Venusian wisdom and courage onto those on the right, and the light of Venusian beauty and grace to those on the left. In this way, men and women came into being. These spirits later became the advanced spirits who are known to us today as Greek gods and goddesses, and Buddhist Tathagatas, bodhisattvas, and goddesses. As their physical descendants multiplied, many of these advanced Venusians accumulated a wealth of experiences as physical beings in the third dimension of Earth. Eventually, when the population in the third dimension reached 770 million, El Cantare felt that humans also needed experience as leaders. He decided to give these advanced humans leadership experiences by giving them a chance to teach and nurture creatures more advanced than primates. So he decided to invite humanoid beings from other stars. He invited 3 ninth-dimension grand spirits from distant constellations to aid him in planning the migration of these beings to our planet. They were Amor, Jesus Christ from Sagittarius, Terabim, Confucius from Cygnus, and Moria, Moses from Cancer. At this time, however, dinosaurs and other gigantic life forms were beginning to prowl on the surface of the Earth, and the 3 ninth-dimension grand spirits feared that the new migrants, unused to this hostile environment, would be killed. For this reason, they decided to first invite to Earth the more aggressive, egocentric, and combative humanoids of the Magellanic Clouds. These humanoids possessed highly advanced technology and came to Earth in spacecraft. Physically, they closely resembled people of today, except for their pointy ears and feline tail. Over time, these features gradually disappeared, but when these souls returned to the spirit world, some of them took on the forms of goblins, sorcerers, ogres, monsters, and the like because their minds, and therefore their self-images, resembled the states of mind possessed by these types of creatures. The advanced human beings originally created by El Cantare were like the royal family, royal leaders of Earth. They implemented a plan to help the migrants assimilate to life on Earth. However, some leaders among the migrants, while they possessed large amounts of light energy, also behaved like selfish and vengeful gods and disturbed the planet's harmony. Because of their behavior, these immigrants were banished from major heaven and were sealed into minor heaven. This is how heaven's 6th, 7th, and 8th dimensions were divided vertically into major heaven and minor heaven. Enlil, who resides in the 9th dimension, is one of the leaders of minor heaven. One of Enlil's subordinates, Lucifer, was born into the 3rd dimension some 120 million years ago under the name Satan. By becoming enamored with worldly status, fame, material possessions, and sensual pleasures, Lucifer fell from grace. Unable to return to the higher spirit world, he started a revolt and formed the world of hell in the lowest part of the spirit world. After changing his name to Lucifer, he became king of this new realm. Because the migrants from the Magellanic Clouds were overly aggressive and lacked harmonious qualities, Elcantara decided to also invite a different type of humanoid race to Earth. So 270 million years ago, the second major migration from outer space took place. 1 billion beings from the constellation Orion came to Earth in an enormous fleet of spaceships. By this time, 10 billion of the spirits that Elcantara had originally created from Venusian spirits had experienced incarnations on planet Earth. Their population was large enough to allow for such a massive immigration of new humanoid races. To make room for this influx of souls, the world of goodness of the fifth dimension was enlarged and prepared for their arrival. During this mass immigration, 3 ninth-dimensional grand spirits also came to Earth. Their names were Achaemene, Orgon, and Chaitron. Achaemene is Manu, known in Indian mythology as the progenitor of humankind. Orgon, known as Maitreya, was very active during the age of Lemuria and Atlantis, but has rarely incarnated in the third dimension during the last 10,000 years. Chaitron, known in theosophy as Kuthumi, is in charge of the development of science and technology. He was born in Greece as Archimedes and more recently reincarnated in Britain, where he was called Isaac Newton. Approximately 150 million years ago, the core consciousness of Elcantara incarnated into the third dimension and built a magnificent civilization of light. He established Buddha's truths for Earth, which greatly advanced the education of the new migrant races. An increasingly vast number of people devoted themselves to Elcantara, creating a common identity as Earth people that encompassed all souls of Earth. By continuing the process of splitting light in the higher spirit world, Elcantara continued to increase the size of his spirit group. 130 million years ago, the number of individual spirits on Earth finally exceeded 40 billion. At this memorable moment, a third massive migration took place, as approximately 2 billion beings from the constellation Pegasus came to Earth. On this occasion, Theoria and Samatria, the 9th and 10th spirits of the 9th dimension, also came to Earth. Theoria was born in Greece some 3,000 years ago and was known as Zeus. Samatria was born twice in the region now known as Iran. He incarnated first as Zoroaster and then as Mani, and founded both Zoroastrianism and Manichaeism. In this way, 10 grand spirits assembled in the 9th dimension and became the governing system of Earth's spirit group. Also around this time, the posthumous world of the 4th dimension was given the role of housing some of the souls that I will be describing in the next section.